Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's 15-minute market update. Today is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to do the Bitcoin update, but for my Telegram, my free Telegram users only, I gave them the ability to send me requests on their altcoins, only for that channel only, not my paid channels, nobody but them. I want to give them something that I don't give my other channels because it is a free channel. I got a lot more members on there. So I want to make sure that they feel like they're not being ignored. So at the end of the 15-minute Bitcoin update, if you would like to stick around for those requests, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to send me requests, when I do post that I'm taking requests, join my free Telegram channel. The link is pinned in my bio. In the front page of my Twitter page, you'll see the first pin post. It'll have a link to join the free Telegram group. So, all right, guys. Well, today is Friday, July 26th, 7:59 a.m. local time. So I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let me start off by protecting myself legally. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I am wrong 99.9% of the time. So if you follow me and you use real money, you have a 99.9% chance of losing it all. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Consider this game theory for our fantasy paper trading. All right, guys, I don't want to be responsible for anyone losing money. All right, guys, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So the first thing I want to say about Bitcoin here on the chart, starting off or where we left off yesterday, is first and foremost, I was wrong. That's right, I was wrong. I don't always get it right. I go by validations and invalidations. So let me tell you what I thought was going to happen, what I talked about yesterday, and how it was invalidated, and how we went from looking for a lower low to now looking for a higher high. Because that's what you need to recognize, and that's what you need to understand, that I don't control the market. I only can look at what the probabilities are. However, if they get invalidated, I have to learn how to shift. So let's just really quick review yesterday's call out. So for me yesterday, this is what I believe was going to happen. I believe that we were going to go to here. Give me 1 second. Okay, I thought we were going to come into here, and 706 was where I was looking for a reversal. Why 706? Because 706 was inside of this shaded box that was going to be incredible resistance, and 706 is normally where the market pivots. And I found confluence not only with 706, but with all of this resistance from the bottom of the channel. So the bottom of this channel that we've been discussing is right here. So it lined up with 706, and we actually tagged 706, and then we started to pivot. That's why this is my favorite fib. When I look for a short reload area or a long reload area, I'm looking for 706 as my pivot point. And we did pivot from here, and I was happy. I was great. Everything's working to plan. But the market says, no, I have a different plan. You don't control me. I control you. And what it did is it came right up to the top of the lower high rule, closed right on it, open a new candle, and this is where it invalidated the lower high. So no longer is this considered a lower high. So now what I'm looking for is a completion of this W. Look at the W. I talk about M tops and W's. Why? Because they work. So I'm looking. Okay, so the top of the W is actually right on the medium line of this channel that we drew on Tuesday. Okay, great. Let's see if that's where we're going to find resistance. However, if the market is going to get up here at the time, remember, I don't know if it's going to get up here. Now, I don't know if it's going to stop here. If it's going to get up here and it can break the previous lower high, then in my rule set, I now consider that a shift of trend. So we were in a clear downtrend, and now we bounced. We went to the lower high, continuation rule, to the higher low, continuation rule, and I'm looking for a higher high. This would have been a great place for a higher high, invalidated. We continue to go up, and here we are still pushing up. So, does this mean that this is going to go straight to all-time high? I don't believe so. I think we're overextended, but I think we did a very important thing to the trend. We reversed the trend, and we're confirming the trend. We're confirming the trend by blowing out the lower high. We're confirming the trend by blowing out the previous two lower highs. All right, that's incredibly bullish. But now I need to see follow through. And for follow through, this might sound like an oxymoron, but it really isn't. I need it to go down to confirm up. That's a concept that most moon boys don't understand. All they want to see is green only, and we're going to 100,000 and we're never coming back down, BC. That's a moon boy. A real trader, somebody who understands the market, understands the structure, knows that that's not sustainable. And in order to confirm and continue to confirm the uptrend, I need to see a proper higher low, meaning that we need to see it pull back. So at this point, for right now, I am no longer looking for a lower low like I had yesterday, because 24 hours of data that came in has now shifted that probability. And I mention this because people will often tell me on comments, again, it just shows their ignorance. Oh, BC, you're just flip-flopping. Yesterday you were bear, now today you're bull. Which one is it? That shows the level of intelligence, or ignorance, better said, of not understanding how the markets work, how TA works, what we look for. And that's why I'm making these videos, to hopefully help you understand how I look at the market, and you can say, hey, you know what? I want to learn how to do this. And you can join my Discord group and you'll learn how to do it. Now, let me show you what I'm looking for now. I am looking for us to come into this higher low rule and bounce from here and give us a higher high. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to also understand. We have had trouble crossing this line. All right. Look at this. We got smacked here. We couldn't break above it. And then look at this. This is a little bit of a lesson of what I keep on showing you guys here and showing you guys here, and every opportunity I get, that when we did break it, we back test. There isn't a single video that you will ever hear from me that you will not hear the words back test. I told you guys yesterday, that is the backbone of my system. The backbone is the back test. Everything happens in my system around that back test. It helps us validate, invalidate, take the trade setups. Everything is revolved around that. On top of course, other tools that I use to give me confluence. But this is where it starts. It starts with the back test. And look, I show it to you specifically every time and how accurate it is. So no one can say, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Then you're a fool. You're an absolute fool if you don't think it means anything, because it plays out every single time. We're back testing it. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. So the question is this. We just flipped a very strong area of resistance into support, but we needed to come down here. We needed to put a higher low. So how is that going to happen? Well, eventually we're going to put a higher low. But what this means to me is we could possibly go higher before we come down. And obviously, if we go higher, I've got to adjust this continuation rule. So right now, for the data that I have at this moment, this is where the higher low is going to be. If I end the video and we continue to go up, and let's just say, for instance, the price goes all the way up to here. Well, then I got to adjust this here, and these numbers are going to be different. For most people, that makes sense. Read the comments, and you'll understand the stupidity of people. They will literally tell me In the video, BC, your higher low rule was here. Why did you move it? You're just doing it to adjust to make yourself look good. Well, those are the comments that I have. And most traders that do share on Twitter, they know exactly what I'm talking about. The level of stupidity is by far just incredible. So for the 99% of you guys, you will understand this. For the other 1% is who I'm referring to. So for right now, for the data I have, this is where I want to see happen. But there is a possibility because of this flip that we may go higher. So if we go higher, the next area that I'm looking for resistance is pretty obvious. It's going to be this. It's going to be this area here. Now, if we get above this area here and we back test, that tells me that market wants to keep on going. However, the higher it goes without giving me a proper higher low, and you can see it better here. I like doing these on the 4 hour because it really shows what happens to momentum when you don't get that. And I can show it to you easily just by looking left, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Let me finish this thought first. The higher it goes, the less likely that I'm going to be expecting I keep on telling you guys, the high block cluster that I posted weeks ago, I told you we are going to get up there. It has a very high, the high block data hasn't been wrong yet. One day it will. Year and a half of posting these charts, it's hit every single time. So I have to go based on that data. Based on only the year and a half that I've been following it, it's never been wrong. It has always hit. One of these days it will be wrong. Okay? And since then, we have been climbing to it. So again, I have to use the data that I am looking at. So let me show you where that cluster is sitting here. That cluster is sitting at 72. Let me show it to you. Give me 1 second. Let me show it to you. 72,400. That's the bottom. That's where the cluster begins, and the cluster ends at 74,000. 74. It's 73.8, but 74 is easier. Round number. Okay, so let me do this. Give me 1 second. I just want to put a little, just a little shadow here, just a little shaded box. Give me a second. Okay. All right, perfect. So this is where, with a high confidence, we're going to go based on the history that I have with high block and understanding how those liquidations work. This is my target. Nothing high, no 100,000, no 40,000, no, right here. Now, my point of what I'm telling you is that the higher we go, the less probable that we're going to make it on this move to here. This is getting overextended. What I would love to see is for us to come down here, put a higher low, break out of here after putting a higher low for a higher high, because then the higher we break out of here, the more probable is that when we come down, this is going to now act as support. I don't want a little peak and then it falls right back. That's what usually happens in circumstances like this, when we're coming up with no relief. We'll break through a major area, just a little blimp, and then we come back down and then we crash back below it. I don't want that. I'm a bull. So for a bull, I want to see a proper higher low that allows me to look for something like this. Let me show you what I mean. Just to say this is the top. Again, I don't know if this is the top. For the data that I have right now, that's the top. If I can get a pullback to 0.50, it'll put me up in here. Then I'll be expecting us to go down in here. And that, usually when you do a harmonic pattern, at the end of harmonic pattern, you're looking for a 618 bounce. Again, this is all probability. I don't know. This is just me talking out loud. Let's see if it does. If this is the low, and that is, so I'll put it right here. So if that is the low right there at 0.50, what is do I get 618? Maybe, I don't know. Close to it. So maybe we see a wick, but the importance is that we see a candle body here. And this is assuming, again, this is all just I'm really getting ahead of myself because I don't even know if we're going to pull from here. I don't even know if we're going to point, but we can go to 382. But just for a quick lesson of what I'd be looking for next, give me a little bit of margin, guys. Don't hold me to that exact same. And it's crazy that I have to tell you that. But unfortunately, like I said, there's those 1% of idiots out there that will hold me to it. So, but that's what I'd be looking for next. Wherever we put a higher low, I'll run my harmonic. And if I can get a nice break above here, then I know that with the probability shifts on my side that this will hold as support. And if it does confirm, once we break above here, guys, we're going with a high probability into this target. So that helps me create confluence and confidence to set myself up for success. If you live being a bear or a bull, you're not setting yourself up for success because you have a bias that it easily can be invalidated, and then because of your bias, you're more likely to hold a losing trade because you feel like you have to represent your bears or your bulls, and you're going to get a trophy and award for holding and getting liquidated. Yeah, you did a great job. You didn't sell. Those are idiots. Those are straight idiots. Okay? A day trader doesn't do that. A day trader will quickly get out of their positions when invalidated and look for a new setup, even if it means it has to go the other direction. That's how it works. All right. Only the people who day trade listen to this can't understand this concept. A lot of people can't understand this concept. How we go from one day, we go from shorting to one day we go from long, or even inside the day. In an intraday, we could be taking a short 1 hour, and the next hour we could be taking a long. That's trading. If you can't handle that, don't try it. Don't try it until you can remove your fanboy club mentality, and then you can focus on being a fanboy of profits, fanboy of success, and more importantly, a fanboy of protecting your capital. Because when you become a fanboy, there's no way you're going to protect your capital if you're a fanboy. If you're a fanboy, you're automatically going to lose your portfolio. All right, guys, so for today, I'm already up over my time by 2 minutes, so let me give you a quick recap of what I'm looking for today. As of right now, with the data that I have on hand, this is the only thing that I could project for right now. I want to see if this is the top, higher low rule respected. If the higher rule can come in inside of here, then we have a good probability of going higher. If this gets invalidated by a clean candle open here and close, it could open and come right back in and close here. This is still valid. But if it opens a new candle below the 0.50 and closes that same candle in here, this gets invalidated. Does that mean we're going to go to a new lower low? No. That invalidates point number one. Point number two now becomes this. Okay? If that gets invalidated, can we respect this this more of a consolidation zone? So when we come into this reload zone, this is more of a consolidation. We don't normally bounce off of here. We usually hang out here a little bit longer than we would in a continuation roll. But if we can hold and consolidate and get our strength, then we go up here. I don't want to see this. Why? Because then this happens. Oh, hold on. Then this happens. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. When I was looking at this, I don't want this to happen. Let me show you what I don't want to happen. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see a strong move above here. I want to see a strong move to give me the higher probability that this is going to flip as support. So that's what I'm trying to get to. So I'm hoping that we can bounce off the higher one than the lower one. Either one either one of these two do present a nice option of going into and breaking this here, which is great. Now, like I told you in the beginning of the video, my favorite fib is a 0.706. And check this out. I mean, I can't make this shit up. Look at 706 is exactly at the bottom of the prior resistance, which is what? Look, resistance. Look, it's strong resistance here. It's usually going to be an area of strong support. It's just crazy how this stuff works out. I love TA. I just absolutely love it. It blows my mind when I see things like this. So if this is the top and we do invalidate the continuation rule and we do come down here and we hold, great. But if we invalidate this, am I looking for a lower low? No. invalidates that, next, invalidates this, next, a double bottom. Not a W, because this is too high to be the inside of a W, but a double bottom here. Give me one bottom, give me a second bottom, and then I'm still going to root for the bulls. Invalidate that, and yes, I have to start looking for a lower low. So if we break this low and we close below here and we confirm, a wick does not confirm a lower low. A close below this wick, full candle down here, probability now shifts that. That's a lower low. And of course, that's not set in stone. It could, I've seen it happen where it closes here and automatically picks up. And that happens. But in the most cases, I'm going for the probability case. The probability case that if we close below here, full candle, we're going lower. And then that is when I start looking for now down targets. Now I use harmonics from here to here, from here to here, and start formulating a plan for targets to the downside. I'm no longer become a momentum trade to the upside, but a momentum trader to the downside. No bull, no bear, profit, protect capital, profits, protect capital. So that's what I'm looking for today. Let's see but the first thing I have to do, I have to wait for this to get invalidated. I can't leave this here because it's not invalid. This is not invalidated. So this is how I'm going to end the video with this here. Can we break here? Can we bounce here and here? Or do we invalidate this and go here? Tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow, Saturday, we'll see where we're at, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So if you want to stay for the next part of it, which is going to be the requests, then you can go ahead and stay for that. Let's see here. Let me look at the DMs that they send me. Give me 1 second. Okay, I've got FTM. So let me go to FTM. Ryan. Let me look at FTM, USDT. Okay. Let's look here. Let me look at the weekly first. Let me see here. The weekly first. All right, what do we got? Okay. All right. So there's the bottom. We're below all EMAs. However, we have a possibility of a W here, so that's good. So let me confirm this by looking at the lower time frame so I can get a little bit better market structure. Okay, all right. It's a possible. I mean, we have a clear downtrend. You see this? You see the higher lows. You see the lower lows. So there's still a downtrend. But before we confirm a lower low, we could stop here, and then bounce to kind of confirm this little double bottom. I wouldn't call this a W in here because the inside of this is too high for a W, but I would consider this a double bottom if we can hold support there. So if we can hold support there, then I'd like to see the momentum. Give me 1 second. Let me look at the MACD. MACD has a nice W formation here, and we're coming out of the reset of the bottom of the oscillators. So this could very well be a higher low on the MACD, giving us a higher high. So if you want to see what that looks like, look, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. See that momentum going up? We can be doing the same thing here. And if we can do that, then and now what I'm going to do here is at the end of this harmonic pattern, I'm going to snap a line, a horizontal line, just to see if I can find confluence. When I look to the left, was this end of this harmonic pattern at any point in time, did it establish a strong support and resistance zone? That's going to give me formulate a very good area where my next move is going to happen. So if I take a long here, this may be where I have to take some profit. So I don't know. So let me see. I'm going to go back here. Okay, we got some clean candle bodies there. Clean candle bodies there. Resistance, support, support, support. Okay, let's see if I can find another zone. Bounced off here, support. Bounce close to here, and like this one here, close to here. And Perfect. That's great. I like this. So this starts to shift, give me a shift in probability that there's if this does start come up here, I'm going to start encountering, maybe want to take some profits off the table, maybe 25%. I like to ride my profits with about an 8 to 9% buffer, ride them up trailing stop loss, so that if it does have a flash, I protect profits and I don't do all this work for nothing. So here I'd be looking for. Now here, depending on the reaction that we get in this area here, I'm going to then formulate a new plan, whether it means I got to take all my profits and then redo that plan for a continuation, or continue to ride, like I said, with the trailing stop loss. That I don't know. I can't think up that far ahead because I got to wait for the data to come in. This is about as far as I can take it responsibly to give you some sort of what to look for. Now, to the downside of that, this is what you want to look. It's a pretty clear invalidation. If you close below here, full candle close below here, and it opens and closes here, we're not put a lower low. So now you're looking for more down. Now you're looking for the continuation of this. This here, every time you're in a downtrend, this is how I look at it. Every time every time I have a price action that I'm looking at market structure, we're in a clear downtrend. Every bounce, I always say, okay, prove to me that you want higher. Put in a higher low and a higher high. And until that gets proven, we're still in a downtrend like we are here. This is still a downtrend. So this is our nice bounce. Okay, prove to me. You didn't go to the continuation rule for that higher low. You're still within hold on, let me go here. Let me go here because I didn't put the fib, but I just tell by looking at the location that we invalidated. But let me actually do it. I want to hide the indicators. I don't need the indicators. Just clean up the chart a little bit. So when I look at this, and I look at this, I know that we didn't honor the continuation rule, but it's not invalidated yet. Now we invalidated that, but we didn't validate that we can still have a possibility to bounce up. But look, we did not invalidate this here. Now this means that rather than having a fast move, I may consolidate a little bit longer than I would have expected from a continuation rule. But it's still not out of the woods. It's just not the greatest place for a higher low, but it's still valid. You see this first bounce that you got here? Look. And it retraced. Look. Here's a perfect example. Like I said, and when you want to know how things work, look left. All the answers are to the left. Look. Look, my point exactly. Low, high, we bounced. And look, this was the first higher low. It kept on going. Now, on a more of a macro view, would like to see this to be like for the weekly time frame, or even though this is technically a higher low, I don't want to shift things to help my case. That's you're giving yourself an injustice. I want the higher probability. So the higher probability is on this bounce, can you give me, and if you're retracing this much, can you just respect and give me a higher low? Because look, this was a higher low. Look, this was a higher low. This was a higher low. It got invalidated here. It got invalidated. So if you take this swing low to this swing high, this is probably respect to the continuation rule. So let's see. I use this because these are swing failures. I'm going to go to here. Here. Bring this over. Now, turn on my continuation rule. There it is. Look, perfect. 382. Higher low, but no follow through led us to this. When you don't have those follow throughs, that's what happens. Price it was too weak, falls down. But we are still not I'm still not going to call, oh, we're going to go down, we're going to crash. No, I can't do that. Checks and balances. Check that we couldn't hold the continuation rule. Check. Are we holding this? Yes. Okay, great. We still have a chance. Could it invalidate this and still have a chance? Yes. It can come here, put a double bottom, maybe sweep some of these lows, and still go up. Until it invalidates that, I cannot think lower. I have to give the benefit of what the market shows me. so that I'm not overly bullish, overly zealous, and overly bearish. All right, so Ryan, kind of what I'm looking for right now is just, I got to wait to see what happens here. I got to wait. I can't give you any more other than that. Now, can I go to the 4-hour time frame and see some sort of market structure that may lead me to believe that we're going to go higher? Let's see. Let me look at momentum. CMF is rising. That's great. CMF is rising, so that's always good. We did put a W at the bottom of the oversold RSI. That's good. All right, let's look at the MACD. MACD, we have a nice J hook at the lower end of the volume oscillators, giving me a good chance that hopefully this J hook will follow through, and we do get that cross. We get that cross with the signal, the MACD with the cross signal. If we get that cross, then we're going to start printing green volume oscillators. So that's a beginning. It's looking good. It's not guaranteed, but it's looking more in that favor that we may, based on these lower time frames, we may start seeing some continuations. So what's the follow through to that? The follow through to that is this. Look, we broke above the 7. We back tested it. Back tested. Let's break above the 21 EMA. Back test it, hold like it did here, then get above the 50 EMA and rinse and repeat on each one of these. If it can do that and put in that work, why wouldn't I not think it's going to go higher until it invalidates? You got to take it step by step. Each level of validation strengthens the resolve that the next level may work. And if it works, that strengthens the next one may work. And at some point, within the smaller time frames, you're still going to look for that same structure. So this is not going to go up. No. Just because this calls for a next higher high, this is the macro view. Within the lower time frames, you're looking for the same thing. Looking for a bounce, looking for a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high within the macro structure. All right? The same thing has to happen. Just like this bounce here, if you see this bounce in the 4-hour, if you look at the 5-minute time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. Within the 5-minute time frame, you most likely had a bounce. We had a high, a higher low, higher high. You know what? Instead of just look at it. Let's just look at it. Look, let me hide everything here. Hide all. Look at the market structure. We had a low. We had a bounce. Okay, we did not put in a higher low, but we put it in through time. We consolidated here. When we put these higher lows, this allows the oscillators to reset. For instance, the RSI will reset. But if RSI can reset while this goes sideways, then it gives it a reset to go to the next area here. And that's exactly what we did. We went and had a nice little next up thrust. We came down, we put a higher low, we came up, and now we're oscillating here. Now we're just oscillating. We need to wait to see if we can continue to put in that 21 EMA that I showed you on the 4-hour time. I think it was the 4-hour time frame to get up and above. So that stair step, that upward uptrend momentum, we need to continue it. Here we're getting a little bit weak, but it's okay. It hasn't broken anything, hasn't really violated anything that would keep me any pause of concern yet. We're still going up. Each one of these, look, they had a little bit of a downturn, a little bit of a downturn before going higher. So we just got to make sure that we follow this. Let's look at it on the 15-minute time frame. Up, consolidation, up, pullback, basically a bull flag, up, consolidation. And now, again, like I said, we just want to make sure that this follows through. When this starts to break this, that's when that's probably what's going to happen in order for us to get the higher low here. So we need this higher low. So actually, this is a good example because now we're starting to see the breakdown here. We see it more in the 5-minute. You see how we're now starting to gravitate down. We may go a little bit higher before we get our higher low, but if we're already finding resistance on the 4-hour time frame, then we'll look into here to see if we can reset this. So put it this way: a 4-hour higher low is normally put in when the 15-minute RSI is at oversold. When you have a 15-minute oversold RSI, that usually marks the higher low of the 4-hour time frame. So let's look at that because I closed it out. Not there yet. We're not there yet. So you want to put an alert here. If this continues to drop, look at the RSI on the 15-minute time frame, and that's most likely going to mark the higher low of the 4-hour time frame. And then after that happens, we'll look to see if we can put in a higher high. All right. So that's it for now, guys. I went over my time really. I know that there's a few more requests, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I've got a lot of stuff to do on my end and my personal life, and it's already gone for 35 minutes. He was the first one who gave me a DM, so he gets to win the request. I'll try to do more requests for my free Telegram group, and I'll share it here on the Twitter updates. So that, again, if you guys want those requests, just join my free Telegram group and send me the request when I call out for them. All right, guys, have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.